Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.
With a nasty temperament. Ice.
Got your attention?
What is the biggest ick?
People like wrestling.
You can suck my fucking dick!
Damn!
Everybody, we're back. It's Thursday night. Sweet Chin music. This week, it's just me and Papa, so we probably won't stay long. Just going to be talking AEW's pay-per-view this last weekend. And Pop wants to make sure you know that there were disappointing sales this week for AEW. Pop, you start typing. We got Bleeker in the chat. Hey, Bleak. So I'll just cut right to the end of AEW's pay-per-view. The last few matches were really good. Daniel Bryan put on a show, of course. Beat Swerve Strickland for the title with not interference, but Hangman Page was on the outside. Did you want to go, Pop?
Woohoo! We have a visitor.
We do. We have. Hey, Biggie's here.
I
thought you were live,
I thought
Big.
we started.
Did I lose him? No, there he is. Can't hear you, Big, if you're talking. Biggie, of course, was live tonight. Yeah, still can't hear you, Big. We lost him. Well, that was Biggie Shack, folks. But yeah, man, Daniel Bryan's world champ, AEW champ. He claims he's on his last legs. He's kind of doing that Flair HBK thing where his next loss, he'll retire from full-time wrestling. Sting returned, kind of, like to protect Darby Allin. Papa, you've been watching wrestling for like most of your life, right? If you were running a promotion, would you ever put Jack Perry on the main card of anything you were running? The guy just doesn't look. I mean, there's so many little guys. Whoa. What happened now? Well, anyway, my buddy Bleeker, who's in the chat, he likes to say that the big men are gone. And I was kind of thinking about that Sunday while I was watching the pay-per-view, because it's like there are several of these guys that just, they don't, it's not that they don't look athletic. They don't look intimidating in any way. Chris Benoit was my height, but I wouldn't have picked a fight with him because he was sawed off and muscular and tough as nails. He looked tough. If Jack Perry like cut me off in a line at a con or something, like shoved me, I would consider fighting him. Like I would think about it because I'd be like, "Whoa, buddy, what's your deal?" Like, and guys, friends of mine that aren't big, like I would have no problem picturing them beating the living tar out of Jack Perry. Yeah, Bleak, Sting thought he was retired. He came out to save the day. He didn't do anything. He came out with a baseball bat. There's circumstances. Some call him circumcised. I call him my buddy. Bleecker Street Comics, they look like everyone's uncle that swings a hammer, drinks beer, and drives a pickup truck. Regular Joes. I would even take it a step further and say not even that intimidating. Like, look up Jack Perry. Just see him in a ring. He's the most physically unintimidating person I've seen in a long time. The Young Bucks, at least their whole gimmick is the style, you know. That and getting really big guys to do Canadian destroyers for them. But circumcision, sorry, Marcus. We were referencing my favorite channel right now, Razor Comics, who really he gave Marcus a nickname, and I was there for it. I'm in. I'm all about it. But anyway, getting back to wrestling, Jack Perry, not a tough looking guy. Darby Allin looks like, somebody you might give $1 to while you're walking down the street.
Perry needs help in learning and being respectful.
Yeah, and he's apparently a brat. He does stupid things backstage. I mean, his dad was a famous actor. We all remember Luke Perry. But yeah, Jack's kind of a toolbox, and he doesn't have a good reputation with the boys, and he just doesn't like his literally his only move that he has like to get any heat is he just stands there and smirks. He just has like kind of a shit-eating grin on him. He would play a good like middle level heel, but they're putting him in main events, Pop. Like, I would never put.
If Dad was around, he would be doing that shit.
One would hope not. I mean, it's just at some point, did this kid love wrestling? Like, because what he's doing is not good. He doesn't look physically intimidating. Not to even put Marcus over, but like Marcus would be an example I talked about earlier. Like, I would have no problem if Marcus was like, I'm going to go fight this guy and be like, yeah, I think he'll be fine. and he's going to be in a main event on a pay-per-view. Blows my mind.
I returned.
Hey, Biggie, what's up, man?
What's up? Sorry, took me a couple tries.
All good. Did you leave your show? Did you shut down?
Yeah, I did. I just airheaded it. I wasn't going to do anything tonight. Then I was like, oh, I'll pop on the live. And then I was like, oh, crap, Sweet Chin Music's on. And I hopped right on over.
Well, thanks, man.
Yeah, I was hanging out with your boy Legion. He came on the channel. It was fun.
I saw that.
So where are we at? Did we get to my favorite topic, the New Day disrupting? It's my favorite.
Oh no, we can get into that. We're just wrapping up AEW talk. I was talking about how Daniel Bryan won the title. He's a champ now. I don't like that Swerve Strickland is going back into a feud with Adam Page. Plus, it's weird that they're trying to make Swerve the good guy in this feud because it's like literally 4 months ago he terrorized Adam Page's family in their home. Like, the booking is real weird in that company. And then we were just kind of talking about how the next pay-per-view has Jack Perry in the main event. And I was like, man, Jack Perry, talk about a guy like literally Biggie. I used Marcus as an example earlier, but if you told me we were at a con and you're like, hey, this guy's being a jerk to me, I'm going to go fight him outside. And I looked over and I saw Jack Perry. I'd be like, all right, Big, you should be all right.
Yeah.
He's not a star. He doesn't look intimidating. I don't really want to see him fight anybody, even if it's just pretend. Like, nothing about him is charismatic or intimidating.
Well, I feel like the biggest AEW story from the pay-per-view was the girl champion losing. What's her name?
Yeah, Timeless Tony Storm.
Yeah, Timeless.
Title.
Yeah, she's definitely. I think that's the best title reign they've had was hers. No?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That was another thing I discovered while watching the show. Everybody's got a fucking title. Every single one of them. Sorry,
well, don't they have like 2 world women champions now? Like, they got 2 of them. Like, what
yeah. Yeah, they've got 3 technically if you count Ring of Honor. Yeah, it's bad. There's too many champions in that company.
Yeah.
Dustin Rhodes has 2 different titles for Ring of Honor.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think I think that might have been their most successful pay-per-view.
No.
No?
It was like
Okay.
third. It was like
okay.
their third most. Something around 175, 180,000 buys worldwide.
Did what Ocean Spray or where the hell his name is get his belt back, or MJF beat him?
Ospreay.
Yeah.
Ospreay beat MJF. That was good.
Okay.
Ricochet debuted. We can talk about that real quick.
Ricochet. Nice.
How do you feel about debuting a guy and then immediately beating him in his debut?
A bit of a waste of time, but who did he lose
Why
to?
pay money? Why pay for a guy? Why lure him away from WWE just to beat him in his debut in that Casino Royale match?
I mean, they're copying WWE, so that's what WWE would do.
They wouldn't do it for a guy they were pushing. If they sign you, if AJ Styles didn't come in and lose in his first match.
No, but most people, okay, there's a difference. You're getting a guy from the big league instead of getting a guy from the little league. So
yeah,
the WWE's like, we'll take your biggest guy and prove that we're still better, but you're taking one of the smallest guy from the big place and bringing it to the little league and beating them too. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Britt Baker needs to
Go ahead.
Britt Baker needs to leave AEW because she's getting too much heat backstage in AEW.
Yeah, she's fighting with everybody.
Do you think
anyway,
there's any truth? Do you think there's any truth to Shane McMahon buying the company or pretending to?
No.
None.
No, if they were going to do something with him, it would have happened. I think it was just a meeting. Tony Khan, played it up with that photo. But anyway, let's talk about the New Day, because I know you've been interested in this. We can always come back to AEW. But yeah, man, the New Day. What do you think of what is the guy's name that's been hanging out with them?
Oh, the new Big E spot guy? I have no idea.
Oh God, I had it. Now
Yeah.
all I can think of is Xavier Woods' indie name, Apollo.
Yeah.
It's not that.
Well, I think that was the beginning of the end when Big E was hurt. It was like, okay, he's hurt, but now they got this new guy that's kind of like Big E, and it's not working. And but the exciting thing is break it up and have Xavier and the other guy do their thing, and they're both talented, and let them do solo. Like Xavier's never had a fair shot at singles, so he's not bad. Like, he's pretty good.
Bleeker just made a giant meatball stuffed with cheese, smothered in barbecue sauce, and baked to perfection. If you lose that meatball because somebody sneezed, I have a song for that. But
Sounds kind
Odyssey
of
Jones was
sounds
our
kind of-
name.
Oh, Odyssey Jones. Okay. Yeah. I'm excited for it. I say break it up. Let them break it up. And I don't know where it's going to go afterwards, but give them a chance before they spend 30 years together and never get to do anything. Like, let the guy work a little bit.
Yeah, New Day's had its time. I mean, for being like what they were supposed to be, a forgettable group of villains, they went on to become some of the biggest baby faces in the last 10 years. They drew money. They sold T-shirts. It's run its course. Big E may never return. So there's not a lot of point. If you want to flip Woods heel, maybe Kofi puts him over in a match. Kofi's career is winding up. You want to talk, Pop? Go for it, buddy.
They're going to give Xavier a title.
I think that's a good idea. If you're going to do something with him, now's a great time, because The New Days, they drew so much money. Remember when that cereal of theirs was selling? Like when that first came out, you couldn't get those. Those were hard to get. Bootios or whatever. Hey to Comic Cap Collectibles. We're just talking New Day breaking up. It is the end of an era. Like,
I mean, the beginning
I'm
of it,
ready for it.
it started off as like a religious gospel folk group or something, and turned into something much better. And
Power of positivity is what.
Yeah, it was horrible the start they had, but they turned that into something good, and it was kind of like the Freebirds for our era, you know. It's like there was 3 guys, they tag team off and on, and it was fun, man. But it's definitely, I mean, I don't think they need another tag run, and that's all they were good for. Every now and then one of them got a solo belt, but
yeah, that brief amount of time where Kofi was world champ, that was great. Good for them. And it was a case and kind of started a trend where, you know, there was no heat when they first formed that group. That was literally Vince McMahon just seeing like, we'll put these 3 guys together because they're all black. Like, honestly, I don't think Vince had any intent to make like magic happen, but it did. And the New Day got over with the crowd while they were villains, to the point where WWE's like, well, I guess we've got to turn them babyface, and they became even bigger. They got that trombone over Francine. Remember that?
yeah. I gotta admit, I think Big E was my favorite member, but he's just so injury prone, bro. Like, you can't even get to enjoy him.
Big E, because
I love Big E.
Well, he was an Iowa Hawkeye. He played football for my college team.
I didn't know that.
Actually, I have a his real name is Ettore Iwan, and I have a football signed by him.
Damn. What position did he play? Linebacker?
Defensive end.
Defensive end. Wow.
He wasn't a starter. Wasn't a starter, and he got injured.
Well, you remember how he came in, don't you? Who was he partnered with in his beginning?
Big E Langston. He was Dolph Ziggler's bodyguard. Boy, I forgot about that.
Oh, I thought it was Punk.
Oh, I thought he was Dolph Ziggler's.
It might have been Dolph. It was Punk or Dolph. Which one was it, Pop? Anyways, he was
Dolph.
It was Dolph. Okay, but it moved to Punk at one point, I think. Yeah, I've always liked Big E. I like that he did the best promo in the last 10 years, where he goes, I want big meaty man on big beefy meaty men.
Slapping meat, yeah.
Yeah, slapping meat. I want Goldberg. I'm like, yes. That's what I want too.
I remember after the news broke of that sex tape that involved Xavier Woods and Soraya Page at that time, the New Day were on a spot on a pay-per-view, and Xavier's just kind of looking off to the side like, I know it's coming. Big E's just standing there, his whole body's shaking because you know he's laughing. And damned if Kofi Kingston didn't look at Xavier Woods like he was his disappointing child.
And Matt Striker, okay.
Ooh.
Now,
who's your favorite wrestler now and then panel?
Oh, now
Biggie, you want to start?
Well, the then is very easy, but the now, my favorite wrestler right now, if I could watch them wrestle, would be AJ Styles. And then would be the Hulkamaniac, because people don't think he's a good technician. I think he, charismatic-wise, moved a match very well, and I enjoyed watching him a lot. So both of them for the same reason. Now, AJ might be a little more fancy and athletic and in shape, but Hogan could work the crowd like no other. So those are my two.
My then always changes. Like it kind of depends on who I'm watching. Like you're always a Hulkamaniac, but I was on a Terry Funk kick for a long time there. But you know who I'm watching lately? A lot of his matches. I'm back on the Macho Man.
Ooh.
I've been watching some great Macho matches, and I went down a Ricky Steamboat tunnel too, where I watched the Flair Steamboat matches. God, those were good too. I used to always say Bret Hart is my default answer. I don't really feel that way anymore. I'll go Mach today, but it could just as easily be Hogan or Flair or any of the legends. I mean, good wrestling for me it's varied as to what styles I like.
I tell you, besides Hogan, Razor Ramon, a lot of fun. I could watch I watch him a lot. He used to have a YouTube channel called, what the hell was it called? Last Call with Scott Hall. And he would watch like his old matches with Kurt and the old AWA Scott Hall. And God, man, so nostalgic, so much fun just watch some old 80s matches and shit, bro. There was this one match where Baby Doll sprayed him with the hairspray, and he was supposed to take the spot and get the hairspray, and he said, look over, you dummy. And he said, oh, too late. I just love that kind of shit. I mean, he cracks on himself for being green, you know, like, and Kurt taught him a lot, Mr. Perfect. So
Jim Cornette has a really good Baby Doll story, where shoot almost knocked him out. She was supposed to get him, you know, in the head, and she like shoot hit him, and it rang his bell. Like he dropped for real.
I tell you, the thing that kind of made me mad was when Medusa took liberties with Scary Sherry, and she like dumped her on her neck and punched us. You remember? You know what I'm talking about?
I do. Somebody covered that on a podcast I was listening to maybe a year or two ago.
What in the hell was that? Like, you just
Sherry Martel. Wow, one of the great valets too. Sorry, Big, I stepped on you there, but you just got me thinking about Sherry. She's somebody I hated as a kid, but like as an adult, I really appreciate her work.
Yeah. I remember a few matches. Flair, when she was in the corner for Flair, she was with Booker, she was with, of course, Mach, you know, but she had no business getting slammed on her head like she did against Medusa. That really kind of pissed me off because what was the point in that? You know, do that to Luna Vachon or something, see if you come out of that. Like, Sherry was tough, though. Don't get me wrong. Sherry could, like, work, but she ain't no power bomb expert. Like, come on, man. Oh, you know what we got to talk about before we get out of here is the ruler of the world, dude.
Yeah?
Big Sid, man.
We should talk about Sid. Rest in peace.
What are you doing, Pop? Don't cut me off on Sid. Sid's awesome. Fuck you.
Just wait. Pop's going to say something.
Oh, go ahead. I thought you flipped me off.
I think he wants to do his now and then.
I'm all over the place. Sorry.
Well, I didn't do mine now, so
now and then.
I've been sitting here trying to think of a way to not say CM Punk. Because really, I love Punk, but his best days are over. Like, for now, my favorite wrestler, I've got a lot of appreciation for Jacob Fatu. I think in about a year, Jacob Fatu will be my answer.
If they use him the right way, he should be top shelf, bro.
Yeah, don't screw this up, WWE.
Please don't screw this guy up, man. And you know what's cool about him is every spot he gets, he excels, dude. So it feels like he might do it.
Dude, his moonsault might be one of the best for a guy his size. And then the other thing is, you know how we talked about Jack Perry doesn't have that intimidation factor? Jacob Fatu sure as hell does.
Oh yeah.
If Jacob Fatu cuts me off in a line, I'll be like, "Oh, sorry, sir. Didn't mean to get in your way, bud."
I feel like you give that guy just a couple promos, and he's gonna take advantage of. It's gonna be like a Stone Cold thing. It's gonna be like he's gonna hit a gimmick, and it's gonna woof. That's what I think about him. Go ahead, Pop. Go ahead, man.
Hulk and Cody or Seth?
Hulk and Cody or Seth. Yeah, that's good.
I like Cody. Seth ain't bad when he ain't wearing heels.
Pop, what do you got here?
I think he's got video.
Oh, video. Yep. Hey, Christina Payne. Need a cake.
It ain't working.
And I have half the brain that you do.
Rest
God
in
bless
peace, Sid.
Yeah, God bless that man. You know, him and Hogan had a very similar beginning promo, I believe, where maybe Portland. They both did the he's 6'7", he's 350 pounds, he's built out of marble. Who is this man? And Hogan did it, and him did the same promo, and they had him like spinning. And you talk about a dynamic, just God in the world of wrestling. Sid was, dude. What was his gimmick with the killing machine or whatever the hell, bro? Intense when he was in the Indies or in Jim or the Jerry Lawler's freaking camp and shit, bro.
Memphis.
Like, yeah, he was in Memphis. I forget what his gimmick was, but he was just amazing, bro. And thank goodness he did have that. Now, I'm not going to like glorify Hogan, but his best work was obviously when he came and he was Sid Justice. He was the referee. And then from there, he ended up being Psycho Sid. He was the world champ, WWF. You can't take that away from the man. He was the biggest guy in the business for a little while. And I'll
always remember him for when Goldberg wrecked his vehicle. No, the acting.
Yes, that was funny. One of the best power bombs in the game. He didn't try to end your career with it unless he felt like it. But he had it all, bro.
I think he worked pretty safe. I don't think he was I don't think he was a guy that took too many liberties. Unless it was in a hotel room in Germany.
That must have been a hell of a night with him and Big Vader.
Arn.
Oh, Arn. Shit. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he stabbed Arn with a pair of scissors. But the part that people leave out is Arn stabbed him as well.
Yeah.
And, I mean, by all accounts, they were going at it pretty hard because it was over a earlier dispute where Sid was sick of Ric Flair's shit.
I'll give you a little tidbit about Sid. Now, I don't know if a lot of people know this. He was the first man to kick out of Hogan's leg drop.
Yeah?
Nobody did it before Sid.
I
Crowd
did
popped
not
for it
know
too.
that.
Yeah. Hogan still won. So after he did it, Papa Shango came out, and then they were beating on Hogan a little bit. Then the Warrior came out. So it was probably a DQ. I can't remember how it exactly went, but he did pop out of it.
I always remember that shoot interview he did about quitting right around the time of that feud with Warrior, where like he was already ready to leave. He, didn't get the stuff Vince had promised him. And, because Hogan didn't leave. Hogan was supposed to take off and he didn't. So Sid can't have Hogan's spot because Hogan's still there. And he ends up in this feud with Ultimate Warrior, and Warrior's doing his stuff, and Sid's just like, is this guy for real? Like, I can't with this dude. Like, Warrior gave him the match breakdown. He's like, all right, I come in, clothesline, 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 clothesline. In Sid's face as he's telling the story. He's just like, are you it? He's like, I'm not taking 8 clotheslines. You're not kicking out of my finisher. Like, can we just do this for real? And like Warrior pulled his whole the stars and the moon. Like and Sid just walked away from him and said, is this guy for real? Is this really how you guys work here? And everybody was like, oh, that's just how Jim is. And
I think that there was a great story Undertaker told. So you had whatever Sid was called with the mask. And you had Taker come, I think it was coming into Memphis. And you had like the manager and you had Jerry. And Jerry's like, oh, I got somebody for you, big guy. Don't you worry. And Sid tells Taker, he says, when you come out, we're going to go face to face. You're going to get right in my, and they're 2 7-foot guys. Hell of a sight, And they're right in each other's face. And he tells Taker, he says, when you hit me, you hit me for real. And Taker's like, I don't know, man. That's, Sid's a big dude. Like, I was pretty big, but Sid was jacked, dude, And he went to hit him, and he said he was scared to death of Sid. And I believe him. Like, Sid was scary back then, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, Sid.
Whatever.
Pop wants to bring up a touchy subject.
I don't want any drama, Pop. If there's drama, I'm leaving.
Yeah, we're sick of your drama, Pop.
You're always wanting to talk about drama.
That'll wind him up, Biggie.
That's what he always tells people. I don't want no drama. Go ahead, do your touch. It's probably something. What is this?
Oh yeah, I heard about this.
Well, everybody knows HBK, and the one thing that's going to be bad is they've also said Big Razor was involved, and that one kind of hurts me. But
I mean, these guys aren't. Talk about a guy that's not alive to defend himself. I don't know how I feel about that, Big.
That's a good point. They waited. It would be probably more interesting if he was here. Now, HBK does look like a guy that's had his manhood took. At this point, he looks
maybe,
pretty.
Maybe that's what put that lazy eye out of work.
There's actually a match they say that happened. I think it was a kick. He got kicked in the face. They blame it on that.
Well, he looks like it. That eye, man.
Yeah,
D-Button's got one of those too, because that was always that's what kind of got me when Enzo and Big Cass first came into the main roster from NXT. I know people hate Enzo, but that guy on the mic would entertain me, because one of the comments he made was their first feud was with Team 3D, the Dudley Boys. And he said, and don't worry, oh, look at me again, Devon. I'll slap you right in the face and put that lazy eye right back to work. I was like, oh. Did Brock Lesnar make a recent return? No, he is not back yet.
Nor do I think he will. You think he might? That'd be fun. What about Roman? You think he'll be coming back soon?
Roman is back.
He's back for sure.
Yep.
Was
no,
he in
he's
Raw or
appeared
something? Did I miss
several
it?
times now.
Oh, okay.
He's trying to get his necklace back from Solo.
Good old Solo.
And CM Punk is trying to get a bracelet back.
That's some old school
WWE,
stuff.
there's a lot of jewelry.
Bracelets and necklaces. The necklaces ain't even really that cool. It's just like chili peppers or something. Like,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. It's a weird it looks like something you would get to wear at a Chili's if it was your birthday.
I heard Rikishi talking about his boy, the Yeet one. What's his name?
Main event Jey Uso.
Yeah. He's saying like he thinks, of course he's gonna say this, but what do you think, Beck? Do you think that when Rikishi says that Jey is getting the biggest pop for his entrance, is there any truth to that?
Is Jey getting the pop, or do people like doing the lights and the waving?
I mean,
Kenneth Bird.
I'm asking you. I mean, is it popping or not? Like, I don't know.
Well, I go back and forth on this. Sometimes I think there are certain wrestlers, and you can start out this way and end up getting the crowd to like you, the person. But there are certain wrestlers where I just think the crowd likes their entrance. And to me, Jey Uso is that guy. You know who used to be that guy? Sami Zayn.
Yeah. And Seth.
Seth? Yeah. Seth is a guy who I think his entrance was over before he was.
Well, at least in ring, he's good. Like, when I think of Jey, the best match I've seen him in was his Mania match against his brother, and it was 50 Sweet Chin Music. So I don't think he's that great in ring.
Yeah, and I think he's in danger of overstaying his welcome with the Yeet.
Yeah, it's wearing down, ain't it?
It's wearing me out. I'm over it, and you hit the nail on the head. Unless he's wrestling his brother, I don't really want to see him in singles. Actually,
That was probably my favorite match of his, and it wasn't good. It was just okay. I think you're exactly right, though. The one you got to watch is the guy you talked about. Whatever the hell his name was. What is it again?
Jacob Fatu.
Jacob. Yeah, that kid, bro. I would, if I could bet on one wrestler, it'd be that guy.
Yeah, he's a star if they'll let him be. I know his age might be an issue. I think he's probably approaching 40, but
he's tougher than nails. He ain't going nowhere. He reminds me of Ming, but more athletic. And he does a great promo.
Ming is really good.
Yeah, and his promos might be like rock level. Like, we haven't got to hear him really talk. Like, let him fucking talk, you know?
Yeah. The Samoan Werewolf. Stupid name, but I like him.
People don't understand what me and Becker's saying right now. Go watch some of his indie stuff, guys. This guy is a maniac, bro. Like, he's by far the best Samoan.
If you can find a sweeter moonsault for a guy that size, I'll give you $1.
There isn't a part of his work that don't look legit and good. Like, he does everything well, you know, to me. So
the extension on the moonsault it's so crisp too.
Now the Braun Strowman match with the other big guy, that was fun, dude. Like, let Braun do more of that crap. Who was that guy he was wrestling?
And Braun wants to go back and get more. What is his name? He just hurt or beat up Seth and Bronson Reed.
Bronson Reed. Yeah, that guy, he did really well with Braun. And it felt like old school back in the backstage, like out of the ring hard. We haven't had that kind of match in a while that worked, and good for him, dude. Good for Braun.
Oh, and since James Willie isn't here, the Wyatt Six is the drizzling shits.
Yeah, you was way too nice to him when it started. I was never that nice. I was just like, it's okay, man. But I knew it was like,
I'm
over it.
I'm full. This is nonsense. Every time I hear their music, it's like, oh, I can go to the bathroom.
Now, Bo Dallas is not unsavable. Like the guy could make something out of it, but
do something real with him where he actually talks about losing his brother and having real human emotions that don't involve smoke machines or magic or people getting shot in the head.
it's so dumb. It should be the easiest get over there is, bro. Like your brother freaking died. It's like they don't want to tie that to him, but why can't you? Got to. It's if it was AEW, they would be saying your brother's dead.
Mark Briscoe 2.0. Mark Briscoe was set up for an awesome push for AEW. Tony Khan did nothing with him. Well, I mean, he's Ring of Honor champion right now, but who isn't a champion in Ring of Honor? I think if you show up, you get a title.
I don't care about the Hulk Hogan movie that much. Hulk Hogan is kicking ass. He's going city to city, drinking beers, stone cold stunning people. Like Hogan's still the man. He's going to be the man another 5-10 years. It'll be a while before Hogan's done. So
if when that day comes, when the day comes where Hulk passes away, you will see all sorts of movies come out about that guy's life.
Yeah, and all these guys that thought he was a joke will be the biggest fans. That's just how it goes. So whatever. I could do without a Hogan movie because it'll get to the racist and it'll get to the Pinot, and I'm just not into it. So whatever. It'd be fine.
I mean, honestly, I kind of agree with you on the negativity. I've had enough of it. Like, there's a lot of great wrestling stories to tell, and sadly, everybody just wants to talk about the really dumb moments.
Yeah. He's done a lot for the business, and some people get it, some people don't. So I don't see people jumping up and down pissed at Ric Flair. He said a lot of racist stuff, and he done a lot of weird things with women, but nobody seems to care. So it's fine. It's one of those things where it's easy to knock the guy down on the top. So that's what happened.
Well, and you have to admit, Hogan protected his spot, as one should who's making a lot of money. And on the way to doing that, he did questionable things to people. He betrayed people. But would they have done it to him if the situations were reversed? I mean, come on. The wrestling business, especially back then, it was cutthroat. Everybody was out for themselves. Hogan just had the electric crowds and the merch sales, and he was able to push that into other stuff. And if he didn't do it, somebody else would have.
Yeah. And nobody had creative control because they weren't able to pull in as much numbers as him. So,
well, you know what story I always go to with somebody who has a legitimate axe to grind with Hogan, Jesse Ventura's union, and how Hogan stooged him to Vince McMahon. I mean, we know this is true because there's been depositions. Everybody's admitted it. Hogan's admitted he did it. Here's something we don't talk about. What was the benefit for Hulk Hogan to see a wrestling union come in? He was on top. If there was going to be money sharing, it was going to come out of his pile. So, I kind of get that move. Historically, it makes him look like a jerk, but at the same time, it's like the guy on top doesn't want to pay taxes to everybody else below him.
Yeah. No, Hogan was damn near Vince's sidekick, and they were very much team partners at that point and stuff.
Well, and he was making $1 million WrestleManias. Like, why would he give that up?
No, yeah, you're right. Of course, Jesse wanted more, and maybe they should figure it out now. Let them figure it out now.
Jesse wanted to hold Vince up at a WrestleMania. He wanted to get the boys together, and he wanted to threaten a walkout. And Hogan tipped Vince off like 4 months out, and it didn't happen. And Jesse ended up getting his union through SAG.
Well, let's continue the conversation as to the end of it. So he didn't get that, but he did sue Vince, and he did get paid, and he did get cut out of a lot of WWF's announcing part. He got fired, and then they cut out most of his parts.
So they didn't have to pay him, yeah.
So,
which is weird because I would go back and watch stuff when WWE Network was a thing. I would watch old stuff, and if Jesse was talking, it literally looked like Vince McMahon was having a conversation with himself.
Nobody. Yeah, it's like this. It's like, so Jesse tried to do the right thing then, but would that have stopped him from suing them later? I doubt it. When somebody does that, like, they're going to do it regardless, you know. So Jesse was going to always be that guy.
Jesse's a different kind of cat too. Like,
but my kid's been asleep for an hour. I gotta get out of here. Thank you for having me. I got the Shaq Tony.
Tony. Still haven't opened it up, huh, Big?
Nah, I'm gonna keep it the way it is.
Thank you, Becker. Later,
yes,
Pop. Yeah, my kid's been asleep, so I gotta go. See y'all later.
Pop, you want to wrap her up? Everybody, thank you for everybody in the chat. Bleeker, Christina Payne, Kenneth Bird. I want to catch everybody. K-pop, Marcus, even, I guess. Comic Cap Collectibles. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. Thanks for your comments.
Hey, check this out.